dias and welcome to today's video. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Hi, my name is Sumner Hobart and my wife and I are world travelers, and for the past 4 months we have been living in the wonderful country of Mexico. And in this video we are going to share our top 5 favorite cities that we lived in. Now before we get to it, keep in mind that Mexico is the 10th largest country in the world by population and the 13th largest country in the world by landmass. And because of this, we weren't able to spend a ton of time in every single city. However, we did a ton of research before our trip in Mexico and even changed plans to go to as many cities and places in Mexico as possible. So our top 5 list is going to be based on our personal experience. At the end of the video, we're also going to give you some bonus cities that either one, we were not able to spend a ton of time in, so we couldn't really give a full honest review, or number 2, we weren't able to go but have heard nothing but good things about. So regardless, I believe you're going to find this video valuable, whether you want to plan a vacation, temporary living, or even long-term living in the country of Mexico. And if you do like the video, consider giving the video a thumbs up, comment with any questions or anything you'd like to add along the way. And lastly, if you find the content valuable, consider hitting the subscribe button for more. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get to the top 5. First, we begin our journey on the western coast of Mexico in the region of Baja California Sur in a city called La Paz. And no, we're not talking about La Paz, Bolivia. There is a La Paz, Mexico. It's an amazing city, and it's about a 2-hour drive north of Cabo San Lucas, which many tourists are a bit more familiar with. Now, La Paz is a bit more of a unique destination in our top 5 list because what's really great about La Paz isn't really the city itself, which is nice. But what makes it very special is the surrounding area, which we'll talk about in just a second. But first, some great attributes about the city of La Paz include, number 1, that it's much cheaper than a lot of other cities in the area. So while most American and Canadian tourists will go to Cabo San Lucas or Todos Santos in Baja California Sur in Mexico for vacation, many Mexican tourists actually will go to La Paz for vacation. So it's a little bit less known to a lot of international audience. And for that reason, amongst others, it's a bit cheaper to stay there, even cheaper compared to a lot of other places, even inland in Mexico as well. Aside from being inexpensive, La Paz has a nice, chill West Coast vibe with a wide variety of amazing bars and restaurants right by the water. There is even the Malecon, or this boardwalk that extends for miles right by the shoreline, where you can just walk and enjoy an evening or a morning there. Or you can do what Allie and I did and actually take bikes or scooters, which is fun in of itself, but easily find some accessible points for a beautiful sunset over the Gulf of California, which is just incredible end to a day. La Paz is also a very convenient location, having its own international airport, and is only a 1-hour drive away from Todos Santos to the south, and a 2-hour drive away, also going south, to Cabo San Lucas. So a lot of wonderful areas that you can visit right there around the city, as well as areas that are really not too far away. Now, there are 2 big reasons why La Paz really made it to our top 5 list in Mexico. And those 2 reasons are, number 1, Balandra Beach, and number 2, Espiritu Santo Island. So first, Balandra Beach is this beautiful, shallow, warm water, basically cove, that is about a 40-minute drive north of La Paz. Very easy to find Ubers or taxis to this location. It is absolutely beautiful, a bit difficult to describe, but really feels like you're on another planet. And next, Espiritu Santo Island is an island as well as a UNESCO World Heritage Site that is in the Gulf of California, not far off the coast from La Paz, where you can actually fairly easily get a ferry in La Paz or a little bit outside of the city and go directly to the island, spend the day there, and then come back. And some popular activities on the island include camping, hiking, paddleboarding, swimming, snorkeling with sea lions, and even more. And it's an absolutely otherworldly looking destination, similar to the topography of Balandra Beach. Really, really special, kind of difficult to put into words, but an amazing experience, and definitely somewhere that Allie and I will be going back in the future. Now, moving inland into the Mexican state of Jalisco, we arrive in the small city of Tequila, Mexico. And yes, this is the area in which the popular alcoholic beverage of tequila actually originates. So obviously, tequila is a central theme. However, there's a lot more to offer than just taking shots. So an example of something that you could do is you could fly into the city of Guadalajara. Guadalajara is the largest major city not far away from Tequila, about an hour drive. From there, you can actually take a train like the Jose Cuervo Express through the Mexican countryside to Tequila. Once you're there, you can actually stay inside of a Tequila Barrel hotel like Ali and I did, which is a really cool experience in of itself. From there, go and enjoy and walk around the city, which has beautiful, quaint architecture, very lively, energetic vibe. You can go on a tour of one of the many tequila distilleries and see exactly how tequila is made from the blue agave plant all the way into the final product, and actually sample some different margaritas and some tequila shots. And to end your day, you can find a beautiful sunset destination to watch the sunset over all of the rolling hills and agave fields in the distance, extending out for miles. Really beautiful, tranquil, an amazing weekend destination for honeymoons, anniversaries, and is actually also very family friendly as well. So definitely 10 out of 10 would recommend. Now, traveling 250 miles toward the east, we arrive in the colorful, magical city of Guanajuato. Now, Guanajuato is internationally known for its very colorful cityscape, but Mexicans know Guanajuato as the cultural capital of Mexico. Originally settled by the Spanish for its silver mines, and due to the exportation of silver, Guanajuato quickly rose and became one of the wealthiest areas in all of Mexico, which is very evident from the grand, majestic architecture, rich culture and music and art, and amazing, wonderful food, and there is no limit to the wonderful cafes and restaurants throughout the city. It's also a very walkable city. And in the case that you don't really feel like walking, that's fine, because it's also a fairly inexpensive place to stay. And for perspective, to get across town cost us only 50 Mexican pesos, which would be significantly more for the same type of area and distance in the United States. You can also find relatively less expensive places to stay and food, at least that's from our experience. Guanajuato is also a relatively close car ride from cities including Tequila, like we already mentioned, San Miguel de Allende, and the next city on our list, which is Mexico City. So if you're looking for a more romantic, cozy getaway destination, then definitely consider Guanajuato. Moving toward the southeast, we arrive in the 5th largest city on earth, as well as the capital of Mexico, which is none other than Mexico City. Ali and I almost considered not even going to Mexico City. We had a flight that was leaving from Mexico, and obviously most flights to and from Mexico go through Mexico City. And we thought, oh, we'll just go there for the flight. But we said, okay, since we're already gonna have to go there, to leave, let's spend some time. And we are so glad that we did. We were pleasantly surprised. Being the capital as well as the largest city in Mexico, it is also the most developed city and is something more similar to what you would see in maybe the United States or in Europe. And we know for some people that's what you're kind of trying to avoid, but for others, especially for those looking for a longer term stay, Mexico City could really be a good viable option. Ali and I stayed in a hotel right in downtown near the Templo Mayor, and all of the top sites in Mexico City were very walkable, which was surprising. Pretty wide streets and sidewalks for such a large city, very clean. Everywhere that we walked, we felt completely safe, which we know we've heard some things here or there. And obviously, for how large of a city Mexico City is, it expands out for quite a while. So we know that there's areas of this large area of Mexico City that are definitely going to be dangerous, just like any major city, including places like Chicago, for the American viewers. And in our experience, we kind of drove on our way from the airport into our hotel. A couple places that looked a little bit sketchy as we were driving through, but in the terms of actually experience downtown, and even the downtown area is still fairly large as well, we felt completely safe, which is, I know, a question a lot of people have. The architecture and the food was amazing, some of the best in all of Mexico by far. Some top sites include the Bellas Artes Museum, the Grand Post Office, Templo Mayor, Chapultepec Castle, and many more. And for how nice and large a city like Mexico City is, it was surprisingly inexpensive, especially when you compare to more similar type of cities in other parts of North America and Europe. So if you're flying in or out of Mexico City, I definitely encourage you to spend at least a weekend seeing some of the top sites the city has to offer. I really don't think you'll regret it. And last but not least, we end our travels in the Yucatan Peninsula on the east side of Mexico in the second safest city in North America, which is Merida. Aside from Merida being a safe place to visit, it's also a very nice place to visit. And Merida, being on the east in the Yucatan Peninsula, was one of the first cities established by the Spanish, so there is extremely rich history, both Mayan and Spanish history within the city. This is evident from the beautiful, colorful colonial buildings around every corner. Some of the most grand and majestic cathedrals that we've seen in all of North America. The people of the city are extremely warm and welcoming with proud Mayan roots, and the climate is even warmer all year round, which can be amazing for some, while others may be a little bit too hot and humid. Moving outside of the city, you are less than a 2-hour drive away from the Gulf of Mexico, where you can actually see flamingos in person depending on the time of year, which is amazing. You're also about a 2-hour drive away from perhaps the best preserved Mayan ruins on Earth, which are the Uxmal or Uxmal, U-X-M-A-L ruins, which many foreigners don't really know about, but a lot of Mexicans are more familiar with. And Ali and I were absolutely blown away by these ruins. And there are many other ruins in the area as well, including Mayapan ruins. Also, being in the Yucatan Peninsula, you're never too far away from some amazing cenotes. And cenotes are essentially these naturally occurring water holes where you can either go snorkeling or go jump or dive in and cool off from the Yucatan heat. Merida also has its own international airport and is about a 5-hour drive away from Cancun, so still fairly conveniently located, especially if you want to stay in the Yucatan Peninsula. So we definitely recommend making a stop in Merida. And before we go, I want to mention a few additional cities to consider visiting or living in Mexico, including San Cristobal de las Casas in the state of Chiapas, Oaxaca City in the state of Oaxaca, Guadalajara, which we already mentioned before, in the state of Jalisco, and lastly, Todos Santos, also in the state of Baja California Sur, about an hour south of La Paz. We hope that you found this video valuable. If you did, let us know by giving the video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel for more content like this. If you have any questions or anything you'd like to add or share, let us know in the comment section below, and consider sharing this video with someone, friend, family member who's considering visiting Mexico to show them a little more of what Mexico has to offer. As always, thank you for watching. We appreciate your support, and we look forward to seeing you in the next adventure. And until then, adios!